Good afternoon, it's Chris Baxter, live again from the Cheltenham Literature Festival. I wonder if you know what links the Queen guitarist Brian May and an inventor from Gloucester. Well, Charles Wheatstone made numerous discoveries and inventions in the fields of optics, acoustics and electricity. And in 1840 he was actually awarded the Royal Medal for his explanation of binocular vision. Now, it was a research project which led him to make stereoscopic drawings and construct a gadget called the stereoscope. Now, what he showed was that by viewing two separate pictures of an object through a stereoscope, your brain combines those objects, making them stand out as three-dimensional. So, how did Brian May get interested in this? Well, he first got into stereoscopic photography, whilst he was eating his Weetabix. Now, I know that sounds strange, but you might remember those little free cards you used to get buried inside cereal packets, and for a time Weetabix gave away these. And if you looked at them through a special viewer, they sprang into life, into three dimensions, and that fascinated Brian. And over the last 40 years, he's amassed an unrivaled collection of Victorian originals, including rare examples sourced from dealers across the world. Now, he currently has an exhibition at the Tate Modern and has published an interactive book which he was signing copies of last night. Well, he told me that this clever idea that he told me more about this clever idea that led to the modern developments in 3D television and even cinema as well.
Well, the Victorians invented it, of course. In fact, Charles Wheatstone invented it in about 1838. And yeah, there's nothing new under the sun, really, after the Victorians. They did it incredibly well as well. You know, I mean, I love what's happening in the cinema now, I must say, in 3D, but it was all kind of mapped out between about 1845 and 1860, and that's what we're presenting on the screen today. We can project it and give people the full 3D experience.
And of course you had to wear glasses, or you had to use mirrors to see these images, which is quite funny when you think, even though we do have brilliant television technology now, cinema technology, you still have to wear specs, don't you?
Yes, we have a new system actually which is very groundbreaking. It's still spectacles, but the quality is fantastic, and you can use a white screen. Yeah, you've always got that problem that you've got to give each eye a separate piece of information, and they must be completely separate, or else you get headaches. And the Victorians actually got it right. I mean, if you use a Victorian stereoscope as designed by Brewster or Wheatstone, you get absolutely no eye strain at all, because there's no crosstalk between the two pictures. In the cinema, you always get that little bit of ghosting, which is fatiguing after a while. But it's colossal what you do. Once you see 3D and what it can do for you in sort of everyday life, it's still very underused, in my opinion.
When they first came into being, these images, people must have been blown away by them, and it was an incredible thing to see.
It really was, and that's what this book is about. You could go to a gallery and see a portrait by Millet or whatever, but you couldn't take it home. You might be able to take home an engraving of the painting, but it's a bit of a poor substitute. Suddenly you've got these photographers recreating the scene with real people and photographing in 3D, and that you could take home, and you could put it in your stereoscope in your living room, and it's like you were there. I mean, and they were blown away. It was a massive craze in Victorian times, and obviously rightly so. Suddenly you've got photography and you've got stereoscopy at the same time, and colour as well.
We think about those. I mean, they were very clever, because some of the things you would have viewed at fairgrounds, moving images, those sorts of things, and rotating discs where you'd see animated images, incredibly clever.
Yeah, well, that you're speaking about is the beginning of movies, and of course the stereoscopy is the equivalent of what we see today. When you go and see Gravity, it's the same principle. But it was astounding for the Victorians, without a doubt. And of course there was no TV, there was no radio, there was no iPhones. That was your contact with the world. So if you wanted to see tea planting in China or India or whatever, you want to see the pyramids, you could see it in your stereoscope, and it was like you were there. It's like virtual reality.
Was it difficult to track down those images?
They're always hard to track down unless you're lucky, and I think that's the fun of it. You find them in odd places, and I used to get them in some car boot sales and antique shops and whatever. Nowadays there's a kind of a whole community that's aware, so you can find them. I mean, the internet, of course, these days is where you find stuff more than ever. But it's still a thrill, and I still, after probably 40 years or more of collecting these things, every now and again I see something that I've never seen before. before, and you just go, wow, that's incredible. There's a slide I'm showing today, taken by T.R. Williams, of his daughter stepping through a frame. It's such a modern idea in composition, and it's beautifully executed. She just comes out straight towards you, and you think, my God, this was 1857, and we think we're clever today. It's just great stuff.
How do you view the images in the book?
In the book, you use my patent owl. And the owl is something that I invented, or I created, as a modern version of the Brewster stereoscope, because you can't get them these days. They were beautifully made out of walnut and mahogany and whatever. So this is made in polypropylene in Sunbury-upon-Thames. It folds flat in the book, and every book that we sell comes with an owl. It's focusable. The great thing is you can focus it as well, so no matter how your eyes are, particularly people of my age, you can still see everything beautifully, clearly, and in stereo.
Now, Brian, Queen fans are incredibly excited at the moment because you revealed not so long ago that you're going to be releasing some tracks with Freddie Mercury on that sort of been hidden away.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm surprised myself. You know, I thought we'd really done it all, but a few things just surfaced and we started working on them, and the results are beautiful. I'm really happy because, of course, if you're lucky enough to have a tape from those days, it doesn't age. You know, Freddie sounds exactly the same as he did, you know, full of life and vitality, and these songs haven't been heard. So it's nice. I mean, it's not a whole album of new stuff, but the rest of the album is an anthology, a different kind of ballads anthology. But these 3 tracks, for the moment, are something to talk about and think about and enjoy. And it's for me, for me, it's a treasure. I love listening to this stuff.
Brian May talking to me at the Cheltenham Literature Festival, and of course he's on the new Children in Need record as well, the official Children in Need record. But really exciting if you're a Queen fan to know that those new tracks are going to be released. And he's put together this book called The Poor Man's Picture Gallery, and it coincides with an exhibition at the Tate Britain, and of these stereoscopic images. It's really interesting that he's got a hobby and something completely different, isn't it? And good luck with him. Good luck to him with this book. It's BBC Radio Gloucestershire. It's 16 minutes past 3.